Now, according to Islamic scholar Sura 66, titled The Prohibition, concerns a very controversial event in the alleged history of Prophet Muhammad regarding his personal life, specifically his polygamous marriage. This is indicated in the first several verses of this surah. So let us consider the first verse of this surah from two of the most popular English translations of the Holy Quran. The Abdullah Yusuf Ali translation states, "O Prophet, why holdest thou to be forbidden that which Allah has made lawful to thee? Thou seekest to please thy consorts? But Allah is all-forgiving, most merciful." The Maulana Muhammad Ali translation states, "O Prophet, why dost thou forbid thyself that which Allah has made lawful for thee? Seekest thou to please thy wives? And Allah is forgiving, merciful." Now, both translations include forbid and lawful, which are commands from a higher authority imposed on subordinates. Forbidden disallows or prohibits the doing of something, while lawful is the permission or allowance given to do something. In light of this, the above verse could be phrased other ways, such as, "O Prophet, why are you maintaining something to be forbidden to you that Allah has made lawful for you?" These verses do not provide the circumstances surrounding these questions, including the names of the wives or consorts to whom Allah is referring. We are not told in this surah what Allah has made lawful to the Prophet, which he continued to forbade or forbid to others. Hence the word, which is the title of this surah, the Prohibition or al-Tahrim. This verse or this surah also does not convey how these questions were answered, despite the fact that the seriousness of the questions are evident in the ensuing events described in this surah. Notwithstanding, because this narrative is in the Quran, Islamic scholars have attempted to convey the reason why Allah permitted this surah to be in the Holy Quran, mainly by associating it with the alleged histories in hadith that mention these verses. Now, the answer to the question regarding what Allah made lawful to the Prophet is alluded to in the context of related events mentioned in the Holy Quran. This context is the Prophet's marriages, which Allah addresses in several surahs in the Holy Quran. In Surah 33:50, Allah states, in part, "And a believing woman, if she gives herself to the Prophet, if the Prophet desires to marry her, it is especially for thee, not for the believers. We know what we have ordained for them concerning their wives and those whom their right hands possess, in order that no blame may attach to thee. And Allah is ever forgiving, merciful." Now, the Holy Quran is the Messiah's book, and it is the book of governance of all of humanity. So we need to consider what is written here very carefully when it comes to the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. Now, this verse emphatically points to an exclusive allowance for the Prophet, in this case, the Messiah. As such, this verse cannot refer to any woman in general. Why not? Well, any Muslim is permitted to accept an offer of marriage as long as it does not violate the ordinances delineated in Surah 4 of the Holy Quran, particularly between verses 22 through 25. This believing woman refers to a specific woman representative of other women like herself. Hence, this woman could represent a specific race, social class, or age group. According to the Holy Quran, Prophet Muhammad did not establish ordinances that cautioned his believers against marrying believing women because of their race, ethnicity, social class, or age. However, such an ordinance would be necessary during the Messiah's time, in the redemption of the children of Israel, in the fulfillment of the messianic prophecies. And we'll get to that point, if not in this particular message, later on, Allah willing. Now, for centuries, several hadith and other so-called biographies about Prophet Muhammad, which appeared long after his death, have attempted to describe the circumstances in his life that prompted the revealing of the first few verses of Surah 66. Now, this does not mean that the hadiths and histories related to Surah 66 are completely false. It doesn't mean that. The truth of Prophet Muhammad's life is available, but not necessarily in the many conjectures written by his enemies or by those who had other motives for inventing events that they attached to his life. So we must tread carefully when using literature, hadith, as the authentic sources of Prophet Muhammad's biography. Now let us consider the following from Jibril Muhammad regarding the history of Prophet Muhammad. A part of the overall course of study the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was given by Master Farrakhan Muhammad was that which he did not study until his teacher had departed. He gave him a list of 104 books. He would later begin to read them, or the parts he was to read, when he began to live in Washington, D.C. He said that most of them were on aspects of Muhammad's history in Islam. There were specific reasons for his teacher giving him that combination of materials to study. Among those reasons were that he was teaching him more of himself, others in that which was to come, beyond what he taught him before he departed. Brother Jibril Muhammad also states the following on the subject of the 104 books. Here is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's answer to my question respecting the 104 books. Brother Jibril is asking this question. Brother Minister, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad stated that he was given a list of 104 books by Master Farrakhan Muhammad as part of his studies. After his teacher's departure, when he was in Washington, D.C., he said it occurred to him to call his wife to send the list to him. He then began that part of his study. What did you hear him say concerning those books and their contents, and what were they for? The Honorable Louis Farrakhan's answer. I heard the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, this is in part the answer. I heard the Honorable Elijah Muhammad say that Master Farrakhan Muhammad gave him 104 books to study. He said the best of those books was the Holy Quran. The other books contain certain aspects of and incidents in the life of Prophet Muhammad. Those are his words to me. Now, this indicates that Master Farrakhan Muhammad knew that aspects of Prophet Muhammad's true history were dispersed at least within the 104 books he selected for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to study. It is also clear that the Holy Quran is the best of such books when it comes to learning Prophet Muhammad's life and what he thought on matters of human behavior and human endeavor. Overall, the above excerpts or the excerpts by Brother Jabril Muhammad, should make us tread very carefully when accepting published so-called histories of Prophet Muhammad on face value. At best, such histories and commentaries must be vetted against the Holy Quran. Why? Well, in Surah 3 of the Holy Quran, Allah states, "O people of the book, why do you confound the truth with falsehood and hide the truth while you know?" In other words, mixing truth with falsehood and then hiding the truth while you know it's the truth. This verse refers to the Caucasian people through whom the Torah was entrusted, and to the Arabs who were given the Holy Quran as an inheritance. The social crisis among so-called Muslims throughout the Arab world is caused, in part, by their allegiance to these extraneous sources that contain truth mixed with falsehood.